Hi everyone, it's Julianne here from Miss Ink Stamps and welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how I created this fall-inspired card using the new Pumpkin Spice Latte stamp set. Now to start out my card for today, I'm going to be stamping that adorable gnome image onto a piece of expressive blending cardstock that I have already trimmed down to A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now I'm going to be putting that panel inside of my MISTI, and I'm going to be positioning that stamp towards the top of my background panel, and then using some Memento Tuxedo black ink, I am going to be stamping that down onto my cardstock since I do plan on doing some Copic coloring. Now since this is a brand new stamp set, I will have to stamp this a couple of times in order to get a solid black outline, and once I have that all stamped out, I'm then going to start working on my Copic coloring. So for my card today, I really wanted to create a fall-inspired card, so I will be using some fall color combinations. So I pulled out some of my favorites to color today. Since there is a lot of coloring in this card, I have sped up my coloring process to save some time in this video, and as I color, I will put on some music. Now, if the coloring isn't something that interests you, please feel free to fast forward to the time listed on the screen below. But if you are interested in the coloring, I will have all of my marker caps off to the side of the screen so you can follow along with the colors that I'm using. So once I'm finally done with all of my coloring, I'm now going to start working on stamping out my sentiment. And for that, I'm going to be using the brand new Pumpkin Spice Sentiment Stamp Set. Now this stamp set is perfect for all of your fall-inspired cards. There really is a sentiment for everything in there. Now I'm going to be starting out by stamping the large part of my sentiment, which I'm going to be using the scripty pumpkin sentiment that's included in this set. And I'm going to be stamping that out using Gathered Twigs ink from Pink Fresh Studio. Now for the smaller part of my sentiment, I'm going to be using another sentiment from that same stamp set, but I'll be stamping that out in some more of that Memento Tuxedo black ink that I used earlier. And once I have that sentiment all stamped out, my sentiment is now going to read, "'Tis the season for pumpkin," which I thought was just the perfect sentiment for my fall-inspired card today. Now before I put away my MISTI, I decided that I really wanted to stamp something on the inside of my card as well. I really have been trying to include things on the inside of my cards when I remember. So for this card, like I mentioned earlier, I just love that cute little gnome. I think he is absolutely adorable. So I'm going to be positioning him down towards the bottom of my card base, so that way he hangs off just at the bottom just a little. And then I'm going to stamp him down again using an ink color from Pink Fresh Studio, and that's the color Dough. And once I have that all stamped out, I'm then going to start working on assembling my card together. So I'm going to start out by adhering a burnt orange piece of cardstock that I've already trimmed down to fit my A2 size card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to be adhering that cardstock down using some liquid adhesive. Once I have that all adhered, I'm then going to be adhering a piece of brown glitter cardstock right on top, and I've trimmed that down to just slightly smaller than A2 size, so that way I have that really nice border of that orange cardstock all the way around my card. And then to add some dimension to my card, I'm going to be adhering a foam sheet. Now I get these foam sheets from Michael's. I believe they come in a pack of 30 sheets. And I'm going to be adhering that to the back of my panel that I colored in earlier. And then I will adhere that on top of that glitter cardstock, again leaving a really nice border around each edge. So technically I'm going to have 2 borders. Now since this isn't regular foam adhesive, I need to make sure that it stays in place while it completely dries. So I'm going to put something heavy on top of it while it dries, and then I'll move on to finishing up my card. In order to finish off my fall-inspired gnome card for today, I'm going to be adhering a few gold sequins throughout my background, and once I have those last few all adhered, that's going to complete my card. I really love how this turned out, and I love the color combinations that I chose to make this a truly fall-inspired card. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video as well. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe for even more card making videos. If you're interested in any of the supplies I used today, they will all be listed and linked down below in the description box. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time, and happy crafting!